Hey everybody, and welcome to the 14th Arrow episode of Season 1, The Odyssey. The first episode entirely comprised of flashbacks, but before we get into that, this episode picks up pretty much where the last one left off, to the point where it doesn't even include part of it in the previously, it just reuses a scene, with Oliver going to interrogate his mother, before Felicity joins the team.
Too much flashback.
That's the whole point of the episode, is to have flashback.
No, they need a balance.
No, the point is we needed a large amount of flashback because we finally want to take an interest in the flashback story. Besides, that was the whole point. Rather than trying to focus on two different stories, this entire episode is flashback. Other than some nice scenes with Felicity, that's the whole point of the episode.
I suppose so, and yes, I was a little interested in the flashbacks, but after it got me interested, then it just went on too long and I lost interest.
But to me, this is the episode where the flashbacks become interesting. In fact, for this entire season and the next season, the flashbacks are interesting. Eventually they do become a pain in the butt, but for this season, this is where flashbacks finally become interesting. Mainly because we finally have Slade.
Yeah, it was interesting, I just didn't like having so much of it.
Yeah, but then we would have had to shoehorn in another plot, and we couldn't really have a plot. The whole point of the episode was Oliver was unconscious.
Yeah, that took a while.
That's the whole point. It's just supposed to be him down there so we can focus on the flashbacks.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have Felicity joining, and she's in now.
Not completely. She says she's only joining to help save Walter.
That's a good point, but at least from this point on, she's no longer just a recurring side character.
Yeah.
But, like I said, let's actually get into the flashbacks. I think that we pretty much start the flashback scene with the training scene, which is one of my favourite scenes of all time.
Yeah, he trains him up, he builds it up like it's going to be a really difficult mission.
And Oliver barely does anything.
Yeah. He didn't even need the training because Slade came along and did his guy for him.
No, because remember, the whole thing about what do I do if somebody jams a gun in my face does come up later on.
Yeah, I guess so.
Exactly. Plus, yeah, and that bit with the gun comes up very much later on in one of my favourite episodes, but we'll get to that a very long time from now. But
I just hate that they built it up to be difficult, but then all those soldiers were so dumb.
Well, like Slade said, he only had 10. It was only 1, and Oliver didn't even fight that one guy. But, yeah, but still, that training scene is definitely one of my favourite scenes of all time. Not just in this episode.
Yeah, I guess it's okay.
And we finally set up the fact of Leanne Yu having landmines. It's the first of many landmine scenes.
Yeah. And they said Japanese people left them there from World War II.
Yeah.
Why were the Japanese people on Lian Yu during World War II?
Gee, maybe because it's an island in the South China Sea. Maybe if you did some research on World War II, you'd know something. See, this is what I'm saying when I say basic history knowledge is supposed to be common knowledge. Everyone knows that. It's not meant to be a plot, it's just a normal thing.
Okay.
But yeah, the show likes to use the landmines a lot. Another thing the show does a lot, it did it first with Yao Fei and now it does it with Slade, is it looks like Oliver's been abandoned only for somebody to come back for him 2 minutes later.
Yeah, I guess
They did that when he was on the landmine. They did that again when he was about to fight Billy Wintergreen.
Yeah.
And Yao Fei's done it a few times.
Yeah, but once again, we see something I hate about the flashbacks, which is they're like, oh, if we get on this plane, we can go home now. But it's too early for that.
Yeah, I know, but at least they didn't toy with the idea for too long, though. It was just this episode.
And it just makes Oliver seem so dumb, because, like, he could have gone home, but he chose to go after Yao Fei.
But that's the point. It shows Oliver being a hero.
I guess.
Especially when because otherwise they would have just bombed to the place and killed Yao Fei and other people.
Yeah.
Especially when we learn the fact that Yao Fei's been doing this all for a particular reason.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, in this episode, it seems like Yao Fei's just turned against them, at least for the first half. But then we finally start to learn why Yao Fei's been doing this.
Yeah, it's all to protect Shadow.
Yeah, which leads into another bit, because you might not have noticed, at the end, it does show that Shadow and Oliver have the same tattoo on their shoulder.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah, which is a mystery.
But then that kind of tells us that he will be interacting with her.
Well, yeah, but I suppose, but that's the point. It's supposed to leave us with a mystery and go, well, why do they have the same tattoo? And that's the thing I've noticed. I think, right, I don't know the history of how this show was years ago, but I think this might have been right around the time the show realized they're getting a second season, because this episode sets up a lot of stuff that pays off in the second season more than the first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing, this episode, that's the thing, this episode was nothing but build up to show us Oliver and Slade's friendship.
Yeah.
Which pays off for the rest of the flashbacks for this season and the next season.
Yeah, we also got a few nice conversations between Diggle and Felicity, but
I suppose we did, but those were just forgettable scenes in my mind. They were nice scenes, but like I said, the whole point of the episode is flashbacks.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing. I always remember hating flashback episodes, but this is a great one. And I believe the next time we have one for next season is a good one too.
Yeah, I just found it too much to enjoy.
Yeah, but there was so many good scenes of Oliver.
I agree it was good, but it was too much.
Like we had the good scene where they were camping overnight and starting the fire. Then we had the scene where Slade comes back for him, and then the scene at the end where they finally learn to be a team.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. I suppose there's not much to talk about. This is the first episode that pretty much only has one plot. I suppose you got the side plot of Olive being unconscious, but that's not really a plot, that's just a thing happening.
Yeah.
I suppose it opens and closes with what we had last time with Moira, but yeah, it's pretty much a flashback episode.
Yeah.
But, well, with that being said, you've said, what are you going to rank it then?
Maybe a 6.
Only a 6?
Fine. 6.5.
This is one of the best episodes in the show, if not, and especially the season. I don't know if it's the best of the season, but it probably will be.
Well, the rating's about my opinion, and I just did not love it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, you also haven't found an episode of this season you do love.
Well, that's the show's fault for not making me love it.
Well, good news then. The next episode's a Felicity-centric episode, if I remember.
Yay!
Oh, God. Well, I'm going to give this episode... I've given it an 8.5 before. I'm giving it a 9.
Wow.
I said this is one of the best episodes in the whole show, not just this season.
Yeah, okay. You're entitled to your opinion.
I think my opinion's more common with the fan base than yours.
Yeah, true.
Oh well, it'll give somebody a chance to see people have different opinions. Don't worry, I got different opinions. No, that's, to be fair, people think I'm weird when I don't like Tommy and Laurel, so you can be weird for not liking this flashback-centric episode where we finally get Slade teaming up with Oliver.
Well, there we go then.
But next episode, even though she doesn't want to do much, we do have Felicity finally joining in. And that's episode 15. We're getting very far into the season now.
Yeah.
Usually around the 15 mark, the season really picks up pace. So, next time is episode 15.